Hi, looking back on the video that I posted earlier, I can see that I looked a little bit out of it. And probably you guys are thinking as well that I look a bit out of it. And I'll tell you the reason why I look out of it. No, I do not take any illegal drugs that I know of. So, approximately about, I don't know, maybe about 17, 18 years ago was the first time, around about 2011 ish, was the first time I quit smoking and I got really healthy and felt really great, was working, brilliant. And then I got diagnosed with autoimmune hypothyroidism, and my GP said that I needed to go on to a drug called levothyroxine, which is this one, levothyroxine. So she started me off on a low dose. I was tired, but I had no other complications. I felt good, no heart condition, no nothing. So she put me on this levothyroxine. Started off on a low dose, and then it went up. So the levothyroxine, within a short time of taking it, I said to the GP, it's not agreeing with me. I can't see. My vision's gone all blurry, and I can't see, and I just feel generally a little bit spaced out. She says, "Oh, just keep taking it, keep taking it." But I didn't. I stopped taking it because I felt terrible on it. And when I stopped taking it, I felt good again. I felt normal. I could see my vision wasn't blurry. Anyway, after a few years on and off, on and off, on and off, I started taking it regularly because my energy levels were so bad. So when I started taking it regularly, I think they bumped me up to 75 milligrams. No, micrograms. 75 micrograms they bumped me up to. And then I developed a heart condition. I developed something like a tachycardia, some cardiac issue. So then they put me on aspirin because after they did a CT scan, they discovered that I'd had a stroke. This was at 35 or thereabouts. That's when they discovered it. So I might have even been younger. But anyway, then they put me on aspirin. And they also wanted to put me on statins because when your thyroid's knackered and then you go on this levothyroxine, your cholesterol goes through the roof. So my cholesterol was high. So they put me on aspirin. They put me on statins. I was in hospital at the time. They discharged me from hospital. I went to pick up my kid at the time from my daughter's after coming out of hospital. Picked him up and nearly collapsed on the way home. That was being on statins. Was told to continue taking the statins, even though that I was having the bad side effects that statins, it was a torvastatin. Told to keep taking these statins. In the end, I says, no, look, I'm not taking these statins because I can't function on them. Basically, I kept passing out, and I ended up down A&E. And then my doctor called me in and told me off for going down to A&E. And I says, well, stop telling me to take the statins because it's the statins that's taking me down to A&E. So anyway, the doctor decided, another doctor decided to try. She tried me on a torvastatin, simvastatin, and another statin, and I just kept passing out. I just basically couldn't breathe. I just felt really poorly. So then they put me on this one. Well, it wasn't actually this one. This is the new version of it, azetamide, but it used to be called something very similar back in the day when I first started having it about 15, 17 years ago. So they put me on this one, and this one seemed fine, so I carried on. Anyway, they did a scan and everything, and they found out that there was something wrong with my heart. And they did a keyhole surgery, went in and give me some ablation on the cells or something and got rid of it. It was absolutely fine. Anyway, after that, obviously I was on these tablets. Then, because my energy was still low on the levothyroxine, I got a trial of levothyroxine, which the NHS don't really like to prescribe, but because I was still kind of had chronic constipation, joint pains, I was confused, disorientated, really out of it. The specialist decided to give me a trial on the levothyroxine, and to be honest with you, I was that bad at the time. I think it was a month trial. I didn't really notice the difference, but I was out of it. I was already, can you see? I was already on these medications at the time. So anyway, then because when you have thyroid, apparently your menopause is worse So my menopause was really bad, and I was getting really loads of aches and pains and everything. So I've asked to go on to HRT, so I could feel maybe the brain fog and everything was to do with like low estrogen, because your thyroxine at that point I was on about 125 micrograms of levothyroxine, and basically the thyroxine and your estrogen battle for the same cell receptors. So if I was having high doses of levothyroxine and it was getting to the cells, then that means that my estrogen wasn't getting to the cells. So my skin started to go really bad and wrinkly, my hair went grey, my bones started to go bad, I started to get arthritis in more places, like my hands, my hips, my knees. So basically I was a physical wreck. Basically I couldn't function properly at all. So anyway, after begging them, they decided that I could trial HRT. So they started me on one called, I think it was called Clearfem. Felt great. As soon as I took it, I thought, right, it's estrogen that I needed all the time, and I felt much, much better on this estrogen. But anyway, after a short period of time, my scalp started burning and all my hair started falling out. So then we messed about with estrogen, different sorts of tablets and all that lot. But basically, it didn't work out for me, to be honest with you. And obviously, because I had the heart condition previously and a stroke, they said they didn't really want me to have it either, even though I knew it was estrogen my body wanted. Hence, like, I mean, because I've got osteoarthritis, it's estrogen I need. Anyway, then they put me on, I had got this, basically I couldn't walk. For about 3 months I couldn't walk. And I wasn't faking it, I wasn't trying to get PIP, I didn't put in an assessment for PIP or anything like that. I basically just couldn't walk. I couldn't get to the shops, no one would go to the shop for me, so I absolutely struggled. I had to basically drag my leg behind me to go and get the shopping in. And so I went to the GP, she put me on naproxen and then the stomach protectors, because obviously naproxen fucking burns holes in your stomach. So I was on about 3 different doses, one after the other, continuously of naproxen. Still couldn't walk on the leg. Seen a different doctor, and then they put me on these. I don't know if you can see that, gabapentin. Within about a week, the pain had gone. I felt much better. So anyway, I was still getting the side effects from the levothyroxine. I felt like I wasn't myself. I was having really bad, like, brain fog, couldn't function. I'd got the joint pains, you know. Anyway, so, and obviously they took me off the levothyroxine. It was just a month trial. I couldn't stay on it because it's too expensive. And apparently it doesn't, even though it solves your the underlying symptoms that your levothyroxine gets, where you still got the dry skin, the aches and pains, lethargy, and chronic constipation. I mean, chronic constipation isn't sort of like a really disease that people talk about, but I'm telling you, chronic constipation is serious. Because if you can't empty your bowels, that's one of the five signs of life, of being able to discard your waste, and you can't. It's bad. You can't move. You feel bloated. Anyway, so then they sent me to the incontinence clinic because I had chronic constipation. Rather than leave me on the levothyroxine, which emptied my bowels and took my levi levels to the right, they decided to put me to the incontinence clinic, and they gave me these sachets, the cheapest sachets that you can think of. Basically sent you the other way then. So when you went, you made a right bloody mess everywhere, and you went through practically a whole roll of toilet roll every time you went to the loo, trying to clean up the mess that it made. I says, I can't take them. I've got chronic constipation, but these are ridiculous. So I didn't bother going back it was on my repeats. I said, you can take that off my repeats, it's rubbish. Spoke to the chemist says, right, what you need, if you've got thyroid, what they should have done, they should have give you something called, what's it bloody called? Can't remember, but I'll come back to it and tell you what it's called in time. Anyway, because the levothyroxine and my estrogen, going through the menopause, being, what's it called? Hypothyroidism apparently exacerbates the menopause. So I was getting really serious mental health problems. So then they put me on. Well, first of all, they put me on because apparently back in the day they put me on something called olanzapine. Basically olanzapine, and what that does is just knocks you out. So all the side effects from the levothyroxine and the statins that they try to put you on and everything else, rather than have to deal every day with the consequences of being on them things, because it really messes your head up. Then they give you olanzapine on top of that, and then you just go to sleep all day. And then you wake up, you take another olanzapine, then you go to sleep again for another 12 hours. So you don't really live a life. You don't get all the side effects because you're sleeping. So I says, I can't really function on this olanzapine. It's great stuff, yeah, it takes away all the symptoms, but basically I just sleep all the time, and that's all I did. Obviously then you get the weight gain, and then that exacerbates your arthritis. Anyway, so today, obviously mental health is still an issue because I'm still taking these things. My GP prescribed this amisulpride, and I really thought, when they gave me it, I thought, this is a miracle drug. I says, you know, because normally I've got to come back and say, oh, you know, this is not good for me. I'd rather go down the herbal route, blah, 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 and try and get a herbal remedy like St. John's wort and stuff. But, you know, I was really seriously bad, and I was housebound. I couldn't get it, and I was being arrested all the time because I was freaking out in town and paranoid and stuff. So, so anyway, this amisulpride, I thought, like, this is going to work for me. So I started taking it. Didn't have no side effects, didn't want to sleep all the time, didn't want to gouge me face with loads of food, you know, the usual side effects of antipsychotics. Didn't get any of that with that. And I thought, yeah, this is great. Mental health called me back up and says, how you feeling? I says, I'm feeling much better. Thank you so much, Dr. Mohammed, for prescribing me these. They're really working. So then my GP's called me in about, I don't know, probably about 4 weeks later. Oh, we need to see you about your latest blood result. Apparently, there's a problem with the amisulpride. Apparently, my prolactin levels, yeah, are sky high, 3 times what they should be. And apparently, it's a side effect of the amisulpride that I thought was so good and was working so well for me and give me my life back. But no. And as a result of the prolactin being 3 times high, guess what? Guess what it does when it's that high? Yes, it thins your bones. And what do I have? Osteoarthritis. So I don't really need my bones to be any more fuller. Anyway, so when I wake up in the morning, I mean, last night I forgot to take my pill. So when I woke up in this morning, you know, I wasn't really functioning properly because I am dependent on these now. And as you can see, here's my little lot. And they're not even all there, because I've got other pills as well up there, and I've got patches stuck to me. I don't know whether I'm a human guinea pig for the NHS, but anyway, if I looked a bit spaced out, that's the reason why. And I wanted to tell you about this journey with all these medications and how they make me feel as well. There was something else I was going to say as well, but I can't remember now. No, it's gone. I can't remember. Oh, yeah, that was it. People that have commented, that followed me and wanted an update of how this possession order's going, and a lot of you said to me about contacting the Citizens Advice. Well, I did contact the Citizens Advice the day and the day after. I don't have any credit on my phone because I didn't have any money, so I had to do it via the internet because I do have internet access. So I sent them emails to that it was an online thing. You had to follow thingy and tell them what it was about. So I did all that. They still ain't got back to me, and I'm not. What we're on about the 16th, 17th today. Let's have a look. What are we on? Oh, it doesn't say. Anyway, we're Sunday 16th or 17th of November, and they haven't got back to me. Orbit haven't got back to me to say, okay, then, you know, housing benefit of said to them it was their fault, they shouldn't have done that or anything like that. So as far as I'm aware, you know, the possession order is still above my head. It's still hanging over me. They know full well my son works seasonal as well, so he'll go from they hire him in around about March time, and they give him work up till, no, I'm telling a lie now. They hire him in June, July, August. No, July, August, sort of like the end of summer, the beginning of autumn, they hire him. And then they'll give him so much work. And then around about the end of February, the beginning of March, there's no work for about 3 months, 4 months. And that's when we have to do the housing benefit thing. And then they pay our rent then, like full rent. But then the other time, my son pays full rent. So anyway, so they know that come March, which is going to be within the 12-month period, basically his contract's going to end again. So he's going to be out of work for 3 months. And if he can't find anything in that time, which means we're going to have to put a claim in for housing benefit. Now, housing benefit, as you know, take weeks to sort it out, which means my account's going to go into arrears. And knowing that 12-month possession order is still hanging over my head. I don't know what's going to happen. And yeah, it's at the back of my mind all the time, and I'm trying not to think about it. And I know you're all saying like, oh, they can't do that and all that lot, but they threaten to do it. And I'm a sensitive person. I know maybe not come across that way, but I'm a sensitive person. And like, well, I've got osteoarthritis. That tells you something. What eats away your bones? Stress, adrenaline, you know, the chemicals that are released to stress burns through your bones. And I've got I've got arthritis everywhere, in my neck, in my back, in my hands, in my knees, in my hips. You know, I'm riddled with it. And anyway, I'm not going to rant on anymore. Thank you for your inquiries. Thank you saying God it loves me and all that lot. You know, thank you very much for that. And I hope yous are not going through what I'm going through. Thank you.